Good morning, incredible souls. Happy Thanksgiving. It's bright and early in the morning. I woke up around 5. And I have 5 more dishes to cook today, but it's the big stuff that doesn't require too much chopping. I did all the things that required a lot of chopping already. So next, the worst thing I have to do today is peel potatoes. And it's not too bad. So I'll try to record as I go along. It's almost 7 now. Raining heavy this morning. It's supposed to be raining a lot today, so it's not too cold, but it's chilly. I'm a little sleepy. When I finish cooking, I'm going to want to sleep for days. Okay, the first step of the morning is that I got these Rhodes thaw, rise and bake dinner rolls out of the freezer. I've had them in the deep freeze, and I'm going to make some for dinner today. They're still frozen, so I took them out before I started anything else so they can thaw and rise, and then I'll bake them later. All right, I'm working on the baked corn casserole, or you can call it scalloped corn. I have the recipe said 2 cans of cream style corn and 1 can of whole kernel corn, which is what I'm using. That one doesn't have any salt added, but I don't care. Everything is going to have a lot of flavor already. There's a sleeve of crushed saltines in here. It said Ritz crackers, but I didn't have enough Ritz, so I put saltines in here in the mix. The topping will be Ritz though. So there, it's all mixed, and this is easier than the one I used to make, which you have to heat it and then bake and heat it and melt the fat, add the flour, make like a roux. But this one does not have a roux, so I think it'll be easier and maybe even better than the other one. All right, okay, it has 3 eggs in it, and I mixed it in very well. And now I'm going to melt the butter because it needs a half stick of butter. Now, baked corn tastes good with a little garlic, so I'm going to put a little garlic powder in there. Just a little. Nobody wants to overpower the flavor of the corn. It just makes the butter flavor pop. There's a little garlic added. So there. Now I have buttered the pan, and I'm going to pour it in there. That is the butter, the Ritz crackers with the melted butter in here. So I'm going to mix it carefully. Oops. Should have used a bigger bowl, but here it is. I'm a bit breathless, but today is a humid day. We have the windows open because it's not very cold. It's and the house is just getting hot with the oven on, and the stove. And let me see here. Okay, make sure get enough in here. I actually add a little Parmesan to that just for fun. Okay, now I'm going to add the seasonings, which is black pepper, paprika, and a little garlic powder, yes. Okay, so I did put a little Parmesan in it, shredded Parmesan. I don't like the kind that comes in a box because we don't know what's in it besides cheese, so I just buy the shredded cheese that has visible shreds. Yeah. Okay, that's the topping. Okay, it's ready for the oven. And this is the first thing going in this morning. It's 10:30 now probably. And while this is baking for about 30 minutes, I will work on the next item. The rolls have been here on the pan for 3 hours, thawing, and now they're rising. And yeah, I brought them in at 7:30 or something like that. And they are, it's a little chilly and very damp. Humidity has an effect on how fast they rise. But I'm keeping them here beside the warm stove. Hopefully that's warm enough to help them rise. And I buttered the tops with melted butter so they don't dry out. Water is boiling for the macaroni. I'm using a pound of macaroni. 1 pound, yes. Elbow mac, because they didn't have any more shell mac when I went to the store. Now, I never add oil to my pasta. I just give it a stir as soon as it goes in. And then I keep giving it a stir every couple of minutes so it doesn't stick to each other. The pasta is ready to drain. I'm going to drain it in here, and I'm saving the pasta water to make the sauce. Now, you'll see my wizardry with the sauce. I'm laughing because I'm hoping I'm a wizard. Okay, I'm using dry milk here because why not when I have a lot? I hauled a lot of dry milk, and I'm not making this boil. Doesn't need to boil. It's just hot and it needs to melt. But if I boil it, it'll curdle. Tried it a lot of times. I know it curdles. Now, for baking macaroni, you really want it to be saucy, so it doesn't dry out and it stays creamy. Okay, there's our milk. Here's my mixture of cheese. I have, this is what I use for thickener. I use Velveeta for thickener instead of flour. I just use Velveeta. And this one is for the topping. It's cheddar and Parmesan mixed together. And then what I use for the great for melting cheese, this is from Aldi. It was thick cut trio blend. It has New York sharp cheddar, pasteurized processed American, and Swiss cheese in it. And this was the Parmesan cheese I used. So it's going to be very cheesy. Now, I've kept the cheese out of the fridge for a while, so it's kind of room temperature. It's not refrigerator cold anymore. I figured that was better since it was the temperature change would be a shock. So I'm just folding the cheese in a little bit now, and then I'll keep stirring it every now and then with my whisk. And if I think it needs more cheese, I'll add some more Velveeta. Make it nice and creamy and thick. I'm not going to whip it. I'm just going to melt it gently. Little by little. Babysit the sauce a little. By the time it gets baked, and done, it will be thick and creamy. This will take a while. I'll come back in a little bit and do it again. Yeah, it's getting beautiful, creamy, delicious. And I have it on the very lowest setting I can set it on, just to keep it warm. I can keep melting the cheese. And this is thick enough because after it bakes, it will be more thicker. I did add another half cup of milk, of needle powder.
Hey, honey. What are these?
They're rolls that are going to get baked. No.
They look so perfect. I want to touch them.
Don't touch them.
Okay. What's that?
Cheese sauce for the macaroni. I'm going to make baked macaroni. It's Copycat Chic-Fil-A macaroni. It looks more white because the Velveeta was white. But it doesn't matter what color cheese you use. It can be yellow or white. Yeah. Well, warm a little longer. That looks delicious. Smells amazing. Oh my goodness. It smells so good. Yummy. I'm gonna set that out now. I believe it's done. Now, the macaroni is ready to go in. Unfortunately, I can't record and do this tilt at the same time, so I'll come back when the macaroni's in there. It will sit here for a minute, and then I'm going to pour it into the pan. And it will thicken when it bakes. It will get a lot thicker. Okay, there's the one I'm baking today, and there's an extra one for another day. Okay, topping time. Yep, that's the extra one. The other one is already in the oven. This one will be like a mega head one that we can stick in the oven another night. Sunday or something. Now, the macaroni is in, and the scalloped corn is out. And the turkey is going in as soon as the oven is done heating up to 400. The macaroni only takes about 20 minutes. And then I'll put the turkey. Okay, there's the macaroni casserole. I just took it out and it's bubbling. And the cheese is all nice and brown and crispy.
Look, guys, why is that part white and then this all
because
around
the sauce
yellow?
is more white. And I put yellow cheese on top. That's why.
No, it's yellow on the side. Here.
Hmm?
It's yellow.
Oh, it's just cheese mixed together. White and yellow cheese. That's all it is. And there's the corn, scalloped corn, baked macaroni. In that pot, I'm boiling potatoes to mash.
I'm excited for Thanksgiving.
Me too. And the turkeys are roasting. And these rolls are still rising. They'll go in after the turkey.
And guys, look what I made. This was a broken necklace, and it still had the ring on it. And then I took one of those adjustable rings, and I put it on.
Oh, that's real cute. So I'm putting this in the mashed potatoes. Some steamed cauliflower. It feels like it needs to steam some more, though. It's not quite mashable yet. Okay, there are the potatoes boiling with steamed cauliflower in. Cauliflower, I always steam it before I put it in with the potatoes to make sure it gets soft enough to mash into the whole thing because I don't want my kids to notice it. Okay, that's my melted butter left over from buttering the rolls. And I put some garlic powder in it, and that will go into the mashed potatoes. When they're boiled and mashed, I'll put that in the mashed potatoes. garlic butter. That's how I like to put my garlic and the mashed potatoes together. I'm also boiling some garlic with the potatoes, but this is the best way that I have found. You can also use raw garlic and just infuse the butter with the garlic flavor, but I want to be able to pour it in and mix it in. When you do that with the raw garlic, it ends up having like little bits of raw garlic in it, unless you fish it out. And I'd rather not do that, so I did it this way. Now, who would know that there is cauliflower in there? Nobody. Nobody would know. Because I made it very soft. Steamed it very soft and then boiled it more with the potatoes. Steamed it for 5 minutes when it was already thawed. It wasn't frozen anymore. All right. Melted butter going in. I'm going to have to scrape that in with a spatula. Now, for the rest of the mashed potatoes, I saved the potato water, and I'm going to stir in about a cup of Nido dry milk and make it into a creamy milk to put into the mashed potatoes. And I'm not worried if it turns out to be a little bit on the liquidy side. I'll add just a little bit of instant mashed potatoes to make it not too liquidy. Okay, it's a little bit on the liquid side, so I'm going to add the rest of this little packet of instant mashed potatoes. I use those as a secret ingredient in other meals. But I had a little bit left in that packet. Okay, that's perfect. Creamy, perfect, garlicky. Okay, honey, I hear you. Alrighty there. There it is. All done. Perfect. I'm going. Turkey is done. It didn't take as long because I cooked it at 5 heat this time. There's everything.
What's that one there, sister?
Corn, baked corn.
طيبة والله هاي. قالوا طيبة هاي قالوا.
شنو هي؟
ما ادري بس هي طيبة.
اطلب بعد اطلب انت جاهز.
You do it like that?
He can do it however he likes. Just cutting the turkey so people can eat. And this one over here is stuffing. It has bread and vegetables together with spices. Corn.
Just corn?
Corn baked, yes. With different things. And this is baked macaroni here.
والله هاي السالفة
هاي
حبيتها.
تشابه انا ما انت غربوقه ما
يلا. تركي. انا اعطيني جناح.
جناح ماكو
شنو جناح؟
ماكو كسرت
الله اكبر. النار هنا. يا حبة مصمص انا ترى. كان مو اثنيناتهم.
وين صانق عليه وين؟ ما تاخذ
اخذ بابا. بابا مستوي.
Yummy.
علاوي.
حطهم
جيب لك خاشوق. وين راح الطين؟
حطهم ما تقعد خالي ما عندك عجيب
احنا نستخدم هاي الخشب احسن. ناخذ من كل شيء على مود واحد ما يتندم بعدين.
That's a very old tradition that the Native Americans taught to the people who came to the United States first, before it was America. Before it was the United States. It was just wilderness everywhere. And the natives lived here. And this is something they ate. They would eat that vegetable.
Healthy food.
Yeah.
Healthy food. ناخذ تعال خالد. ليش؟ تعال إلى هالكرسي خالد.
Okay. There's my turkey, my macaroni, my green beans on both sides of the mashed potatoes with the gravy, Giblet gravy. And this is a Rhodes dinner roll. There's my corn, baked corn, and somewhere under there's my succotash. There's my stuffing and my turkey with cranberry sauce. I'm gonna dig in now.
ابوك هذا واحترميه بعد لا. بعد ما له شغل بيه.
That's the end of the turkey.
انا اقول لك هذا كلي
It
بتقولي
was
لا.
delicious. Did you like the turkey?
الحمد لله.
Alhamdulillah. It was fun. I liked making this meal because it's a Thanksgiving. The macaroni was good. Scalloped corn was good. And the turkey. There's almost nothing left. Just a little bit. That's the best sweet potato pie I've ever made. And also the best one I've ever tasted. Really delicious. Tastes nice. And I have whipped topping on each to put on a slice if somebody wants it. And the apple pie is there. It's a little more fragile, I guess. It really, if I ever make it again, I'll buy two crusts for that pie so that I can put some extra crust on top, have extra crust to put on top. Because I think it'll be less fragile if it has crust on top. But it's really delicious. The flavor is awesome. On point. But this one is my favorite.